Hi, my name is Ferdinand. I'm going to teach you something about the north-south choke today. This is Chris, he's my leader for today. We both teach and train at Munich MMA. So if you come through Munich on your way back home, message either of us, come train if you have still clear training clothing. I have my phone in my hand because I have notes here, so I apologize for that as well. Yeah. Why north-south? Because it's good enough for Marcelo. And if it's good enough for Marcelo, then it should be good enough for all of us. It's a simple choke, but it's not an easy choke. I started doing it around blue belt, and the reason that I actually got some success with it sits right there. No, the guy in the blue, right, Marco. He taught me something that I'm going to teach you today as well. So thank you for that. We're going to start with some outside passing, because outside passing in no gi for the longest time didn't make any sense because Chris could just recover. And we're going to start with a little game. Come closer, please. Thank you. My goal is to touch his head. His goal is to not let me touch his head. Catch, he can't use his hands. So he has to keep his hand back there. And my goal is to run around the side and plop him on the head. And he has to recover guard. Hopefully you'll learn that it's actually quite easy to run around here and pop him on the head. That's our goal for today, because from there we can then attack north-south chokes. So that's first we're gonna do. Little game. I run around, pop him on the head. He tries to defend without the use of his hands. Right. We're gonna clap. So we're gonna also give our camera a signal. So 1, 2, 3. If he wants to frame with his hands, he can do so, but he has strong frames here, and they get weaker the farther away from his shoulders they go. So inclined bench presses are harder than regular bench presses, and this is what we're exploiting here. So our hands are on the inside. We realize he has a good bench. So we run to the front. Run to the front. Here. Round. We realize there's an opening. We switch hands. We stay here. We negate his bench. And once his frames are bad, we drop down. From here, we're just going to stay here and control the position for once. Our head is on the inside, so if he wants to invert, we headbutt him in the stomach. We just keep the position. One last time, without talking. All right. Grab a partner. Switch in intervals you want, and I'll go around. If you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Are you switching or going back? To grab his arm, are you switching or going back?
I walk back till he has a bad bench, basically, and then I start twisting and drop down. Partner up. 1, 2, 3.
Elbows inside the knee. Yeah, exactly.
Any open questions from that? No. Good. Then we're gonna add 2 more things to the sequence. A, what we're gonna do when he starts sitting, and B, what we're gonna do when he wants to keep inverting. Right? Well, first thing, if he wants to sit, my goal is to have this space occupied. Right? I want to step here. If I'm here and he wants to wrestle up, I'm gonna beat him to the back. Pretty much all the time, right? I already won this space. So, what he has to do when I won the space is he has to drop, right? And from here, where I am, is pretty much where I want to be anyways. I put this in here, and drop in here, right? If he wants to wrestle up, I'm gonna beat him to the back. So it's not what he's gonna do, right? I step in, he inverts, then I drop here. Right. Chris doesn't like that, and he wants to invert. So his hip comes up. What I'm gonna do is throw it back. I'm gonna harass him as much as possible from this position. So whenever he comes up, I'm gonna throw him down. This is hell for his core. So because he has to always get his core back up. And this will exhaust him terribly. So especially in long matches, this is what I want to do first. As soon as I'm here, I'm not gonna drop immediately. I'm gonna throw his feet away. I'm gonna stay in front of him, and I'm gonna throw his feet away pretty much all the time, because this is gonna exhaust him. If you watch the Ruotolo brothers, they're doing this all the time. They're throwing the legs away, and they always run to the head. So this is what we're gonna have. Our partner sits, we step in, he drops, and we go here. And now we start harassing. Harass, harass, harass. At some point we drop to the inside, and here I'm not stiff arming him. I'm on the inside. My weight comes through my upper arms into him. And I'm already pretty much down here, and his bench is pretty compromised. And from here, I can drop. We step in, he drops, we harass him, we harass him, we harass him. At some point, you can see I'm already down here. We're gonna drop down. One more time without sound. And this is where we want to end up. Grab a partner. Try again. 1, 2, 3. We had 2 good questions I want to address in the group. One came from over here about the leg locks. Yes, I don't see without my glasses. Can you come in, please? So, he had a very good question. When I step in, what do I do when he wants to come here for the leg lock entry? I want to keep this leg open. Right? If I don't control this leg and he manages to 50-50 me down, I'm fucked. Like, there's 0 chance I'm gonna win this race because he already has the heel exposed and I can't do anything. So, what I want to do when I step in, I want to make sure that this stays away and my hip drops down, right? And from here, I can switch and keep him occupied. So, whenever you step in, keep this occupied and then go back. So, very good question. And another good question came from here. What do I do when my partner keeps these sort of frames? I don't worry about it very much. I just keep my weight here on him and annoy him. And at some point, this sound drops through. My weight is on him the entire time. And from here, as soon as I have an opening in his armpits, I feel I have a good grip. So what I need to be wary of is his hip. So when I'm here, I need to make sure my head keeps him from inverting. So my hands that kept him from inverting the first time are now occupied with winning this space. So my head has to stay in the middle to keep him from inverting here. And as soon as I have this battle won, now I feel good again. So 2 excellent questions. Thank you very much. Now for the north-south choke proper. You stepped around any way you wanted. We're here and we want to drop. From here, I like to keep these sides, both sides occupied first. So 1, 2, and I like to pretty much lay on his face. There's nothing fancy about it. I just put my weight on his face, put my stomach on his face, and however I can best harass him and keep his mouth shut and his breathing interrupted, the better. So if I just drop my stomach on his nose and his mouth, that's excellent. At some point, I'm going to drop off to the side. I'm going to start swimming my arms through. From here, I want to open his head. And we're going to turn so the camera sees that. So we're here. I harass him, I harass him, I harass him. And I'm going to swim my arm through. Now it's on the top side. I want to give him some space so he lifts his head. If he doesn't lift his head by himself, I'm going to help a little bit and then swing my arm. From here, I make sure that he looks away. I move away from him and then my lat pushes against his face to get my elbow as deep as possible underneath his face, underneath his neck. From here, I start walking away from this. I start walking away, I start walking away. This arm on the far side scoots over his arm and blocks him from doing pretty much anything at this point. But when I feel safe, I swim my hand on the inside and connect my hands. I walk away, I walk away, I walk away. I walk away, I walk away, I walk away. And I drop my shoulder and I relax. At some point, connect. It's not a fast choke. It's not a fast choke. So don't go for a north-south choke when you have 30 seconds on the match. This is something you harass your partner with in the first 5 minutes of the match if you have a 10-minute match. You don't want to do this in the last minute of the match. We're going to start from here. I've won the space for the elbow position and I have control over his inversion. When he wants to invert from here, I headbutt him in the stomach. This arm swims across his chest, drops down on the other side, and I win this space. My arm swims underneath his head and locks around his neck. I make sure he looks away by using my lat and pushing him away from me, getting my elbow as deep as possible. This arm staples the far side arm as long as possible, and I start walking away. Start walking away, start walking away. Start walking away, start walking away. Next. I drop my head, and then I just relax. I don't squeeze much. No, really. I try to not squeeze much. This is something where you get the choke by dropping your shoulder and making sure your arm is a noose. It's not two sticks connected. And that's the market. Your arm is not two sticks that you want to press together. Your arm is a noose that you want to hang him with. For that, we can do a demonstration. Who's under 60 kilo here? Anyone? Joanna? Can you grab press around the neck? Right, drop down. So Chris is the criminal, Joanna is the rope, I'm the executioner. And there's the tap.
This is against the Geneva Convention.
Good thing we're Austria. Right. So if you feel you've walked away enough from your partner, try to walk a few steps more. That's the thing that opens the neck. And from there, you see both jugulars exposed. And that's when you close the neck with the noose. One last time with talking, because minute details, and if I don't talk through it, that doesn't help much. We want the inside space. We swim our arm around. We lift his head, drop down. We staple his arm on the far side so he doesn't do anything funny with it. We start walking. Wait. If I feel comfortable, this arm drops, and my head drops down pretty much next to him. I don't want my head here, because here he can do something funny, and I don't like that. My head drops here. And I keep walking away, walking away, walking away, and then I relax. My goal is to hold this choke indefinitely while he suffers. Right? Partner up. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
We're gonna troubleshoot a bit. Because this is a choke that needs troubleshooting. It's not an easy one, I know. Let's start on this side. If I don't catch him correctly, I need to feel that basically. His chin right now, I feel that in my ribs and in my lats. And I know I can't get the finish here. That's pretty much impossible. But since I have stapled this hand away, I can walk over, switch. And now, because his chin was looking this way the entire time, it's still looking this way. And from here, now I can get it on the other side. And this is one of the few submissions I actually recommend getting good at on both sides. Because the connection here, like the switch, is north-south choke one side, north-south choke other side. Like that's the thing where we have to switch it. And that's the important catch here basically. If I don't feel comfortable in the beginning, all of this is worth nothing. Like my setup has to be good enough that I know I can finish it. And this is where A, switching sides, and B, redropping comes in. Redropping is I drop down if fuck I didn't get it. I come back up, but what does he do? He comes also back down, I come back down again. So that's the game we're playing here. I won this position, but I haven't won the choke yet. So here the game becomes, can I get his head to look away from me, and can I get enough space to drop my arm in around his neck? That's the two goals here. And that's the game that we're gonna play when we're out here. You had a question?
When you switch sides, do you remove the arm from behind the neck first or after?
Here, I keep it here for as long as possible and switch it here. And then I try to frame against this arm as soon as possible, like as soon as I have the switch. If I'm up here, I can still manipulate his head with my hand. So I can still, you can't see that right now, but I can manipulate the crown of his head with my hand that's beneath his neck. So I can chuck it around here for a redrop. So that came up in multiple situations. Is I need to be able to switch sides, and I need to be able to redrop and know when I'm gonna drop. That's one thing, and the second thing is my elbow, and the question came up here. My elbow is cannot be too far away, because then the elbow can be attacked. So optimum, my elbow, I'm just gonna turn it around. My elbow is so far deep underneath his neck that he can't get here. And then I drop. I'm so sorry. There's worse in your future.
I pay you back.
I know. Right. So, practice switching side to side. Practice switching, redropping. And then after that we have a pretty nice finisher for those people that are really annoying and on top to this. One more question?
If you have the chin facing in,
Yeah.
and you don't switch sides,
Yeah.
would the tap still come eventually just because of a chin crack? Just pain?
Not when people my size do it against people his size. Sorry. No, so I don't rely on it.
Okay.
If I do it against Joanna, then probably yes. But yeah, try to come in and try to keep the turn away. All right. 1, 2, 3. So, we're here, and he doesn't want to tap. For some reason, he doesn't think that's a good idea. I beg to differ. This hand comes underneath here. From here, I throw my leg over. I throw my second leg over, and we not crank him.
This IBJJF DQ.
It's ADCC legal, and it's grappling industry's brown and black belt legal. I know it as the Decapitator, named after Justin Rader, who won ADCC trials with that at some point. It's also known as executioner guillotine or some weird 10th planet name also. Right. Right. Switch that for number. We walk our partner up. Our knee is on this side of his body. We sit to that side. Throw one leg in. Throw the second leg in. And we neck crank him. One last time without any words. It's in general it's pretty easy, so I don't go through it quite quickly. We're here, he doesn't want to have. Be careful with that one. It's a neck crank, so please be careful. All right, practice that till 12 and then it's lunch. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.